So obviously, the Dolphins lost, the Steelers also lost, and the Cowboys were the only team who won. But the Cowboys win wasn't even that pretty. Just happy we got the win. But to get into the other games first, whichever one of you wants to start, go right at it.
All you, Gio.
Let's talk about those
So,
Steelers.
yeah, yeah, we lost to the Ravens. The
Without
Steelers lost to
Lamar.
the Ravens without Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
That was a
That
tough
was tough.
loss.
Very.
We had a great defense that we thought of.
Hmm.
J.K. Dobbins, Ohio State alumni, right? He ran all over us. Did not expect that, especially with our front line and Hayward, and especially the reigning defensive player of the year, TJ Watt. Our offense thought was going to play better, especially the way we've seen Baltimore's defense play out before in games. Led Miami go ahead and score 25 and a quarter. So I thought we could at least score a couple more points than them, especially since I thought our defense was that great against their depleted offense. Unfortunately, we had that loss. There's going to be a lot of growing pains with this new team. We're still in the rebuilding part of the franchise, years, and it sucks, but it happens to every franchise. This is our first year, I feel like, really rebuilding with a new quarterback, and we'll take it, here and there. Experience is experience, and it's all good experience. So we'll just move on and win other games, hopefully.
Um, yeah, I will say I think the offense would have been better if Kenny Pickett didn't get a concussion because
Right, right.
it was doing better
Exactly. Yep,
with Trubisky on the bench, obviously.
yep, for sure.
But I will also say that that defense has underperformed this season for my standards, at least.
Oh, the
They
Steelers
haven't,
defense.
yeah,
Oh, 100%.
they haven't
100%.
stopped the run the way I thought they would,
Right.
shown this
Mhm.
past week,
Yep.
and the secondary hasn't been nearly as good as I thought as well.
Right, for sure.
So I mean, like you said, it's a rebuilding year. I expected it coming in. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs. I can still see them winning around 6 games though,
Hmm.
but I just don't think that'll be enough to make the playoffs.
No.
How much more would you ask from that defense, though?
I mean, they're playing good, but like
I,
if you have an offense who can't score, you need your defense to step up even more.
I would honestly have said around 7 points would be reasonable for me, especially with the offense or the defense we do have. Like Jake said, that front seven, right? They're amazing. Our secondary is amazing, right? So when you combine all those factors, combine the fact that we had a great defense, that depleted offense should have only scored around 7 points. For them to score 16 points is pretty remarkable to me. It shocked me. And for J.K. Dobbins to have, I believe, 120 yards and a touchdown, that's shocking to me as well.
Right. Because if you look at the Steelers' schedule and their wins,
Mhm.
their opponents are around 10 to 20 per game, mostly around 10 to 17.
Mhm.
So their offense can't score more than 20,
Right.
is what that's telling me.
And another thing for me, J.K. Dobbins, that was his first game back off of a long injury. So
Right.
for him to have that amazing game after an injury like that, it's pretty remarkable how we couldn't stop him.
And he also wasn't 100%.
Right.
He was running like half speed, it seemed like.
For sure.
So
Tough loss.
go ahead, say though.
I get what y'all are saying, where the defense has to step up for y'all to win games. But personally, I wouldn't be mad at this defense.
Mhm.
I think they're playing like mid-tier defense to what they could be, and they're putting their team in the position to win defensively still. It's just you would hope your offense could score on at least three possessions.
Yeah. Which is the
Uh, I,
which is the growing pains we're talking about with a rookie quarterback. It's just gonna
yeah,
happen.
exactly.
Mhm.
So I think like as time goes on, they'll be in a better spot.
Right. And also, like Jake said, the offense with Kenny was running smoothly or smoother than with Mitch.
Mm.
And for what Mitch had done in the 3 quarters, I thought was subpar or even great for Mitch standards. But it's not enough to win games. It's enough to stay within a game, but it's not enough to win games.
Right. And if you turn it over 3 times, it's going to be hard to win. And he really threw it right to the defense those 3 times.
You don't say.
So, I mean, we all knew Mitch was a backup, should have been a backup, but we'll see what happens
We
moving
shouldn't have
forward.
signed him for 2 years, $10 million. Why did we
Exactly.
do that? When we drafted Kenny Pickett, why did we do that? When we had Rudolph sitting on the bench, who could have
Well,
started over Pickett?
okay, I think Trubisky's better than Rudolph, if I'm being honest.
I don't know about that.
And I also think
Jason Rudolph kept
I
us in
also
game when Big Ben was out too.
that's true. But
So
I think you guys signed Trubisky banking on him not playing and Dwayne Haskins playing before that horrible accident.
agreed. That was awful. I don't want to say I remember the accident. I forgot that he was part of the Steelers organization for a quick stint before he even played a game. I would have loved Dwayne Haskins as our quarterback.
He still had potential. We just won't know what would have happened.
For me, he had a lot of potential. He scored 50 plus touchdowns in the Big Ten, breaking Drew Brees' record at the Ohio State University, right? With great receivers. If he had these receivers on the Steelers, I expect the same thing. I honestly expected him to do somewhat of a remarkable season like a Patrick Mahomes when he had those 50 TDs. I expected a crazy number from a first year, right? Player like that. So, but like you said, we will never know.
Yeah, I mean, I really when I saw you guys sign Trubisky, I didn't understand it either, given that you drafted Pickett. I really didn't get it.
Right.
But what are your thoughts, Saya?
See, I was high on Mitch Trubisky
Oh
coming
yeah, we
into the
know.
season.
If you guys haven't seen
Buddy
it,
Mitch.
view the previous pods where Saya said that he'll start 4-0, which could have happened if DJ Watt didn't get injured. But moving on.
At least we're 1-0.
Yeah, true.
Um, but yeah, sometimes you gotta make some very bold takes to look like a genius.
That is true. And
You
we
know,
have looked like geniuses as well.
well, just like OKC making it to the playoffs in the top 16.
Okay, that's a little up there, but keep going.
Yeah. So with Mitch being there, I think it's even though I don't like him as a starter right now, I still think he's important to that team.
For
Only
mentorship.
because,
Mentorship?
yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
trying to get to.
Yeah.
It was like I think he can progress Kenny Pickett further than I think if they just throw him in the offense with like Mason Rudolph, someone who
Yeah.
really doesn't see the field like that. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I do agree. And I think that's why they didn't start Kenny right away because they wanted to have him sit back and watch the game like Mitch sees the game because Mitch has been a starter before, so he could help him, like you said.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Gio?
Yeah, man, like Nick said, mentorship, it was great to sign him for that role. We didn't really have any mentorship after Ben Roethlisberger obviously left us.
Right.
Mason Rudolph is still too young for a mentorship role. And Mitch Trubisky was the best signing option, I think. I I don't know if I would want this. I think Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback. I think we could have traded for him.
I
I think
agree.
it's a better option and we would have had more cap space. If you're looking for a mentorship role, but if you're looking for a starter to sign for $10 million, that's exactly what you should get as a starter for $10 million. And you didn't get that. You got a mentorship role for $10 million. So it's pretty much signing a therapist for Kenny Pickett for $10 million. Money well spent.
Hey, therapists be making that bread.
They
But
do. I guess, Mitchell Trubisky's making that bread right now.
But like, I feel like Penny wouldn't have progressed as fast as he did if they didn't have Mitch, though. I feel like you could make that argument.
True.
So, I mean, he obviously shouldn't have got $10 million, if we're being honest, but it will help Kenny Pickett develop faster if we're going to look at the bright side.
For sure. For sure.
And Baker would not have taken 10 million. We know that.
No, but we would have traded for him. We wouldn't have had to sign him.
That's true. But do you really want that contract with his play though? That's worse than Trubisky's contract.
Yeah, I would rather have Baker Mayfield. You know how high I'm on Baker Mayfield. He going to the Pittsburgh Steelers with those receivers, with that defense. Look, you saw what he did in LA. Well, we'll talk about that game. But
Okay, yeah.
moving on to the
To-
next great game, but not really that great.
okay.
We'll move to the Cowboys game real quick. The
All right.
only
Oh,
game
what?
that
No,
for.
he wants it.
I just want to ask one more question real quick
Yeah,
before we
go ahead.
move on from the
Yeah,
Steelers.
yeah.
Are the playoffs hopes still alive for you
Yeah, Gio.
with
That's what
teams
I
like the Chargers in there?
because with the way you were just talking about it, like rebuilding, it seems like you've lost hope.
So I'm always gonna have hope until the last game because you never know what happens. Especially, I believe it was back in 2016, 2015, possibly when the Jets had to beat the Bills in order for the Steelers to win and or go into the playoffs and be a wild card, and no one thought the Jets would beat the Bills. And so when the Jets beat the Bills, I pretty much have all hope until the last game, right?
That's fair.
But it's unlikely. We need a lot of teams to lose, like
Yeah.
the Bills, the Bengals. I would say even the Jets, even though I love the Jets, we need those lower tier teams to lose even more so that we can move up and hopefully we can win games on top of that. And if we win games and people or our teams lose, then we obviously have a chance.
I agree. I will say, in my opinion, your best bet is the Patriots losing a few and you guys winning a few in order to sneak into a wild card.
I would say the
Mm,
Jets as well. The Jets need to lose.
Jets, Patriots, Chargers.
Right. Yep.
Those are the only really three teams that I
That's
can
it.
see because the Dolphins have 8 wins. I don't know if you guys will win
The
up to
Bengals,
eight.
obviously the Bengals. I would
The
say
Bengals are a lock for
Yeah,
that
Bengals are
wild
a
card.
lock. They got
they're
like 10
locked.
wins.
So the
So
Ravens
like
are unlocked as well.
Ravens might not be given Lamar's injury, but we'll see.
Okay, so if one of those two teams, I believe, has to lose in order for us to move up. So,
Right. But the main thing is win games, like you said.
right, yep.
And that starts this week against the Panthers. So we'll see.
Let's hope we can't beat the Panthers. I'm switching to LA, man. Let's go ride that Baker Mayfield bandwagon.
I
Hey
mean, the
man,
Panthers, the Panthers did look good with Sam Darnold at the helm against the
darn it.
Seahawks, so we'll see. But moving on to that Dolphins game, let's hear Nick Stea's thoughts. Obviously, we know he's been high on Tua for MVP talk. Tua's
hmm
past couple of weeks have been rough, to say the least, and that's the main reason why the Dolphins are on a little skid going into a big divisional game this weekend against the Bills. Let's see your thoughts and what they have to
Must
do this
win.
week. Yeah, it's a big must win.
It's a
So, what do you
must
think
win.
they got to do in order to win?
I need Tua hopefully all week long in practice. They're working on Tua's outside ball more than middle of the field. Because from that 49ers game, they took the middle of the field out and made Tua throw harder passes.
Mhm.
He wasn't able to connect. They did that against us in San Diego too, or LA.
Right. Yeah.
They cut down the middle of the field and they forced us outside where Tua wasn't on par. And this is the second game I've seen Tua not be his best.
Yeah.
Um, but I also think the pressure of being the favorites in that game, I think, and I think being like hyped up put too much pressure in his head. So now where people are starting to like hate on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Dolphins fans are terrible for this, bro. So many people switched up already
I bet.
after 2 games.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I feel like Tua's in his own head now because of that as well. And because obviously he didn't have an awful game against 49ers. He had a decent game, but that Chargers game, he was missing throws that were easy passing catches, or should be at least. So I feel like he's in his own head.
against the 49ers too, though.
Yeah, that's true. Because like Tyreek was wide open and he would just throw it way too high. But like that's the thing. He at least completed 50% against the 49ers. He completed like 36% against the Chargers. That's awful.
But I think the Chargers are also hitting their stride right now.
Mhm.
But but they were down Derwin James. They were down like three of their key secondary players. So I thought going in, oh, Tua will tear him apart. I don't know what happened.
Needed him to, but it happens. I'm still rocking with Tua. I
Oh,
think
I am
back
too.
against the wall.
I think I think he realizes his play needs to step up, and I do expect him to bounce back against the Bills, given that it's a big divisional game.
I think having it be against Buffalo, a team where he already played well against, I think it'll let him kind of like settle back into things. What you shaking your head for, Gio?
Yeah, what are you mad about, Gio?
Go ahead, continue. I'm just listening right now.
I think it'll allow him to kind of like sink back in, let him kind of do his thing more. He'll be comfortable in the snow. I think Jeff Wilson will have a big game. If not, Raheem. One of our backs are going to go off against this Buffalo team because they're lackluster. The biggest scare for me is our defense this time around. We have a lot of injuries in our secondary that we did not have last time, which is problematic.
Yeah, I do expect Tua to bounce back though, given it's a big divisional game and he knows he needs to win, given after like two straight losses.
I'm hoping McDaniel emphasizes the run to start the game
Yeah,
and
because
then allow the pass to come after establishing a decent run game.
I agree. Because to start the Chargers game, I think you threw three passes, went three and out. I mean, Tua needs to get settled down before he starts throwing, I feel like.
I think he did that to try to give Tua confidence, and it just didn't work out.
Backfired. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. Gio been shaking his head over there. Let's hear his thoughts.
Number one, I believe Tua Tagovailoa is one of those players that is um plays according to their mental state,
I agree.
right?
I do
According
agree.
to their confidence state. Even seeing that when he was at Alabama, I could see that. You would see that and then you would also see that in Miami as well, especially his first year,
Hmm.
playing, I believe last year as well, right? So, but right now, as we've seen, his confidence has been sky high. So his team's been playing great. He's been playing great. But once that confidence goes, we obviously what can happen. He needs to build his confidence up again. I don't think that's going to be a great game in Buffalo, honestly. One, where have you seen Tua Tagovailoa play in the snow? He played at Bama and he plays in Miami. What was the time? Let me
Coming off.
remember.
But like that's the thing though. If they establish the run, I feel like it would make it easier for him.
But he's not used. I'm just saying he's not used to the cold. That's all.
Fair. But hey, it's always a first time for everything.
There is a first time for everything, especially when I don't believe Tyreek Hill is going to be the same player. As we know, he's going through an injury right now. It's a pretty serious injury, talking about an ankle or a foot, right? The fastest player can't run as fast as he usually can, make space and get the touches he would like. I think Jalen Waddle will be the main target. I believe he will be the focused threat on the defensive side as well for Buffalo. I don't think Tyreek Hill will be the number one threat. If the Dolphins are going to win, I think Mostert's got to play better. And Gesicki. I think Gesicki's going to be really big this game. Honestly, if the Dolphins win, Gesicki's going to be great in the red zone. Mostert, like you said, the running game, once you establish that running game, and then Gesicki goes ahead and gets that touchdown with Tua, I believe it's going to be great. And a couple passes here and there for Jalen Waddle, he'll get going. I think that offense can run smoothly. But I don't think Tyreek's going to play as well, and I don't think Tua's going to play great until that running game goes well, like Jake said, and Gesicki gets a couple touches as well.
That's fair. Um, I do think that Waddle will step up because that's why they got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So if one is hurt or not 100%, the other steps up. So I think that will happen. And I think Jeff Wilson will most likely be out this game. So Raheem Mostert's going to have to carry the load. and I think he's capable of doing that, and I expect him to do that.
Another thing, though, the Buffalo Bills look beatable the entire season.
Yes, they have.
Not like their first game against the LA Rams.
No.
They look beatable. The Jets almost came back last week. I expect Miami to win. I thought Buffalo was going to win this game because Miami won the other game, and I thought they were going to split. But looks like wise Nick Seiya could be right again. And the Miami Dolphins are going to win this game.
Tua's a lot better than Jared Goff, too. Can't lie.
Just get out of here.
I mean, Gio, you can't deny that. I'm sorry. But keep going, Say.
But yeah, so I think the thing is to establish the run. And I think the Bills are such an overrated run-stopping defense.
For sure.
Well, it also took a big hit with Von Miller out for the year now as
Right.
well.
That's what I'm saying. But but I think they're not great in their run defense. And then
Right.
also with the Von Miller injury,
Right.
I don't think I think they're lower tier mediocre
I
on
agree.
defense right now in the league.
For
And I
sure.
think even if Jeff Wilson is out, Raheem Mostert is a startable running back.
Oh, he's great. For sure. Underrated, in my opinion.
Y'all are forgetting about that number 2 punch.
Oh, Miles Gaskin.
Someone who started for Miami a few years ago.
Miles Gaskin.
Y'all can't sleep on that boy. That boy is a nice little pass catcher.
That is
He's
true.
quick.
But I feel like if Wilson is out, they're mainly going to lean on Mostert.
Raheem's gonna start because that's McDaniel's guy, but
Right.
I would like to see Gaskins get going a little bit.
That's fair. But yeah, I agree. They're going to establish the run, and I think that'll be a big reason why this game will be close and why the Dolphins will be able to pull out at the end.
But I don't know. For some reason, I'm feeling like a 10-point dub by Miami.
Well,
I see like 3 point.
I'm gonna say a 7-point game. I think it'll be a touchdown difference.
I think it's going to be 21-24.
That's fair. I'll
My
say
opinion, obviously.
20-13.
It's gonna be 20-10.
20-10.
All right.
Miami's gonna score a touchdown, kick 3 field goals. Buffalo, someone's gonna get a touchdown early in the game. Then Miami's defense gonna step it up and they'll get a field goal later on.
For sure.
That's fair. We'll see what happens come Saturday night, 8:15.
Yes, sir.
But moving on to the Cowboys game. Obviously, I'm happy we got the win, but at the same time, I am very disappointed to be 4 points close to the worst team in the league, which is kind of disgraceful. But contenders find way to win games, and that's what we did, thankfully, because
Enders.
I was gonna off myself if we didn't beat them. But yes, contenders, Gio, whether you like it or not. But
It's the Texans? You
we
see that against the Texans?
we're contenders. I don't care. The NFC is literally wide open.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Yeah, exactly. We're contenders.
It
But moving on,
It's
contenders do find ways to win ugly games, and that's what we did, thankfully. I'm happy we won, but that defense did not look good at all. We until the fourth quarter where we stepped up. I expect a big a, I expect a big bounce back performance from them in Jacksonville this week, like we have done in the past after lackluster performances. And then that offense is so hit or miss that I don't know what needs to happen in order for it to become consistent. But until it becomes consistent, we're going to be in places where we're in close games where we shouldn't be, like this week.
Now, I don't know about you, Gio. That Cowboys team looks mighty beatable.
mighty beatable.
I'll let you talk, Gio.
Okay, you just stated how the NFC sucks. In
Yes.
that division, you're saying technically the Cowboys suck.
No,
Yes, because
No.
if the NFC sucks,
No.
the Cowboys are in the NFC, which means they
no,
suck.
We're the second best team in the entire division, record
In a
wise.
terrible division. You are correct.
No, that division is not terrible. It's one of the best in the league right now. Record wise, it is.
Yeah, record wise, you guys just said all the time, oh, the Eagles are overrated. The Eagles are overrated.
That doesn't mean that.
You guys almost lost to the Texans.
All right, cliffhanger Geo, back at it. But getting back to what he was saying about my Cowboys, keep going.
So, as I was saying, that defense needs to perform better. I'm going to take a line from the broadcast boys real quick. Davis Mills, who? All right. We don't even know who this guy is. He performed like he was a starting quarterback against a solid defense. People who say the best defense in the league, mostly Cowboys fans though, say that's the best defense in the league. Against Davis Mills, who performed and almost beat you guys? Okay. Then there's the thing about Micah. I think he's been partying way too hard with OBJ.
No,
Trying
he's
to
hurt.
recruit him over to Dallas.
He's hurt.
Hurt. Yeah, he's probably
No, he's hurt.
He's hurt.
He's
Okay.
hurt. I know a Steelers fan doesn't talk about this, but okay, keep going.
And then, yeah, we got 6. Then you got
I mean, we got 5 of those things, but okay, keep going.
then you got Zeke Elliott, who only had 62 yards and 15 carries, and your number one receiver wasn't even CD Lamb. You know who it was? It was your tight end Schultz. 6 receptions, 87 yards. That's all I gotta say. That offense is wishy-washy. It's up and down, up and down. It's like a roller coaster.
It
I
is.
got no
You're
confidence
right.
in that team. If you guys are playing like this against Houston, I don't see you guys beating San Fran. I don't see you guys beating Minnesota Vikings, even though you won, 40-3. Who cares? It's a new
I'm
game.
not scared of
It's a
no
new
Minnesota,
day.
bro.
We going
Minnesota's
to Chicken Little route. It's a new day. It's a new game. Come on. They're going to go ahead and win
no.
that game.
Minnesota's a cakewalk. Keep going.
San Fran, Minnesota.
Cakewalk.
Those 2 teams will beat you guys alone,
No.
even though the NFC sucks. But we'll let, my associate, Nick Saya, talk about how great them boys are.
We are great. I mean, I know a Steelers fan is talking, but keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
one bad year, and I guess we're terrible.
Yeah, you are. But keep going.
One bad year, you guys got like 30.
No, we still make the playoffs every year, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. So theoretically, there has to be some concern coming
Yes,
from
there
this
is.
game, though.
There is. I'm yes.
So, do you think you still are completely contending with the San Fran 49ers?
No.
With the San Francisco 49ers? Yes, I do. Because of our
So you-
defense.
But we just saw your defense be very lackluster.
Yes, but I think come playoff time they won't be.
But we got to go based off of the information we have at hand.
And last year our defense played great, our offense played awful.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen this year then?
Our defense will play great, and it's up to the offense once again.
Okay, when has the offense played great in a playoff game?
It
I'm just
has
asking something. When has it though?
not under Dak, but under the last time
No.
was under Romo
No.
Romo. When has Romo done anything?
All right, hold on.
against the
No.
Packers. He played great, and Dez caught it. That was the last game that the offense played great.
He said,
Well, not great, but good.
Dez caught.
Okay, hold up. We talking about this season. All right.
Okay.
So let's not bring up the past and all this and that. But we've seen your offense be very inconsistent
Yes.
this season as well.
Yes.
So what do you think they're going to do to ensure that their offense and defense plays well comes playoff time?
Well, number one, I don't blame the offense. I blame our offensive coordinator. I don't like Kellen Moore. His play calling is very bad, and that is why CeeDee Lamb wasn't our number one receiver this past game, in my opinion. He did not look
Right.
to get CeeDee the ball at all, and you should do that because it's CeeDee Lamb.
That's right.
And Zeke is, I hate to say it, but Zeke is not the same Zeke. He's not completely washed, but he's halfway washed, I will say. So, as I said in the previous podcast, Tony Pollard should be getting the ball more and should start.
He's in that
Until-
run cycle, right? He's in that
Huh?
rinse cycle real
Yeah,
quick.
I
I
mean,
get
yeah,
it.
he is. I hate to say it, but he is. He got his money and he stopped playing football, is what it seems like as a Cowboys fan. But Tony Pollard is the better back and should be getting the ball more.
For sure.
But to answer your question, I think T.Y. Hilton was a big signing, and a reason we brought him in was because of our offense being so inconsistent. And I think we will utilize him to see if he can make our offense more consistent. But it's not on the receivers; it's on the play of Dak Prescott. And
Right.
until he becomes consistent, as I said, this team will be in close games. And I hate to say it, but if Dak plays like he did this past week and weeks before, it's going to be the same old story in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you another question. Since you don't have the trust in your offensive coordinator, how can you trust him to integrate TY into that offense?
Because I feel like that's more on Mike McCarthy than it is on our offensive coordinator. I think Mike McCarthy will find ways to get Kellen Moore to get him the ball. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that TY is going to come in and get like 6 to 7 catches a game. He's just going to have to be there and make some big plays in big moments. And I think he will do that because CD gets doubled in those moments. And that's why you saw Dak going to Schultz because CD obviously is getting doubled. So we go to Schultz. And I think that's why we brought TY in, another receiver to make catches like that in big moments.
And is that because you guys as a franchise lost hope on OBJ?
I think everyone around the league lost hope on OBJ because one, he's not healthy
Right.
and he's not going to play this season.
Mhm.
And two, he said he doesn't want to play until the playoffs. So, I mean, I think it's just best to move on from that.
Okay.
Facts. I do like the T.Y. Hilton move.
Mhm.
Um, if you had to like, I have a player in mind that is kind of similar to Ty.
Okay.
In the role I think they will play for the like in the role I think Ty will play for the Cowboys.
Hmm.
Do you have anyone in mind like the role you want Ty to go into?
I want him to play the outside and CD be in the slot because CD is a better slot receiver. We saw that last year.
Gotcha. Gio, what you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say that that OBJ, right? And man, why do I always forget this dude's name?
Who?
Triple Crown.
Oh, Cooper Cup.
Cooper.
My goodness. Second week in a row, I forgot this dude's name. I'm so sorry, Cooper. Cooper Cup, right? That dynamic with OBJ and Cooper Cup, right? Where I believe OBJ played more of the outside and Cooper played the slot, right?
Right. Yeah,
That's going to be the same thing with TY and CD, where CD plays more of the slot and TY plays more outside.
I agree. And I think that will help CD's game because last year when we had Amari Cooper, CD was best in the slot.
For sure. And what's happening with Washington?
So, I mean, he came back, but Dak didn't really look his way. I feel like he was on a snap count. So, I mean, it's going to take a while before he gets back to fully healthy. And until that happens, maybe come playoff time, maybe he'll be able to contribute then.
Would you be happy with sorry, T.Y. Hilton having like an AJ Green type role in your offense?
That's a, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's what we brought him in for because we have enough weapons like Dalton Schultz, like CeeDee Lamb, like Michael Gallup, who's our deep threat. And then Tony Pollard started to become a threat in the passing game as well. We didn't bring him in for 6 to 7 catches. We brought him in for the big moments. And AJ Green is a big moment type of player. And I think Hilton will be the same thing.
Yeah. That's when I saw that move, I was thinking, yeah, he really gonna take that AJ Green role and like run with it.
Right. I
So
love I love the signing, but I need him to stay healthy. That's been the biggest knock on his career so far.
thanks.
But to get to the defense, I've seen this defense underperform a few times this season, but then bounce back. We underperformed against the Giants. What did we do against the Vikings? Shut Kirk Cousins down 40-3. We underperformed obviously this week. I feel like the defense will bounce back, not completely shut down Jacksonville, but it will get back to his defensive ways that we are known for against Jacksonville, and we'll be able to come out with a win.
Hopefully. hopefully. I mean, I could see it potentially happening, but I think you just need Micah Parsons healthy.
Mhm.
I think you need a lot of pieces to come back.
I think Micah's gonna hear the critics and come out hungry and get a few sacks this game.
Yeah, I think he's falling out of my decoy spot, you know?
Mhm.
Nah, he's still defense player of the year, but we can move on. Um, I wouldn't blame you but I feel like, as I said, it's because he's not fully healthy, and that was the main reason why he didn't play on the defensive line against Green Bay when we lost, because his shoulder, his ankle, whatever it is a new thing every week because he plays so many snaps, and that's going to take a toll on your body, and it has for him.
He's also kind of like undersized
Right.
to be like a defensive lineman. So I feel like always going with like the O lineman, I feel like he gets a lot more bumps and bruises and stuff.
Right. But I do feel like his zero sack streak is going to snap this week,
I have to see it.
and I shall be in attendance for Micah Parsons. I will call it now, 2 sack game.
Hey,
Go ahead,
So,
Gio.
what was your guys' most surprising game this weekend?
Saya, you can go first.
oh, on the spot.
Well, I can go first so you guys can check it
All right,
out.
yeah, go
Already
go
got it
first,
on
you.
mine.
Go
For
first.
me, the easy one would be the LA Rams, but I already knew exactly what Baker Mayfield was bringing to the table.
Okay,
Bringing that
yeah,
Heisman, Baker Mayfield back,
I will say I was wrong about Baker. He did play great, but we
played
have
like
seen we have seen Baker Mayfield play good and then go back to playing like a third stringer. So I need to see him do it consistently, and also I need to see him do it against a good defense because this Raiders defense it's iffy, say the least.
that's not gonna happen. But my most surprising game was the Jacksonville Jaguars against the
Right.
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Seeing what Trevor Lawrence can do, seeing what Ingram can do, my goodness, that guy is fast, right? He's got great hands, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11 receptions. And Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball, slinging it great, right? 368 yards, 3 touchdowns, 30 for 42 on the passing game to this week. The Jacksonville Jaguars won 36-22 against the Tennessee Titans, who is a great team in my opinion. Played great as well. So yeah, Jacksonville was the most surprising game, and Trevor Lawrence is that guy. He's gonna be great in this league.
Trevor Lawrence is underrated. He has been very good this year for sure, but we'll see what happens this week against the Cowboys.
He also played Ryan Tannehill.
And the Titans
Right.
defense, the Titans defense is one of
Oh,
the
like
worst in.
Derrick Henry.
Okay, the Titans defense is one of the worst in the league though, for being honest.
And it's Ryan
Interesting.
Tannehill as their quarterback.
Can
I had to
I?
experience that guy for years. Garbage.
Those commercials with like the replay. The replay commercials.
Yeah.
We need a replay because I guarantee there's a clip out there on this podcast where I hear you say that the Titans defense is solid.
No, I'm telling you, it's garbage. I've always said it's garbage.
There is a clip out there where you said it was solid because I said the Titans defense sucked. And you said it was pretty good.
No, I promise you I didn't.
They got a few good players. As a
They're,
unit,
I mean, they
not
can't get pressure on a quarterback. They have okay corners. And I mean, I didn't expect Trevor Lawrence to do that, but I mean, I didn't expect him to shut down Trevor Lawrence either.
no.
I'm just saying we need that replay, out here so we can go exactly to that moment.
Telling you that never happened. But moving on, my most surprising game, Gio's gonna love this, was the Lions and Vikings. Um, Jared Goff played
Go Lions!
Jared Goff played a heck of a game. He played absolutely fantastic this game as he has the past 3 games. I did not expect the Vikings to get blown out to the Lions. I did expect it to be a close game given it was a division game. I didn't expect a blowout like I saw though. And I feel like this proves that the Vikings are also beatable, just like the Cowboys game proved that we are beatable.
Man, these are tears of joy out here, man. I can't believe you're talking about Jared Goff like that.
So after a week where both of those teams were beatable, do you think the Eagles are like clear front NFC winners?
I hate to say it, but I do think they are clear favorites in the NFC. Yes,
Purdy,
we'll
Purdy,
we'll we'll, we'll get to that, Gio.
I
Purdy.
there's a reason I said that. Don't worry, don't worry. But yeah, talk us through your game, sir. What you like? What you like?
From the Vikings or
No, the Lions.
You
the
know?
Lions. I mean, I told you I like Jared Goff, bro. He's been absolutely
Like Jared
fantastic the
Goff.
past three
Like
games.
Jared Goff. Top
I
15.
I he's not top 15 still. He's getting up there though. I will tell you, I will say that. But but he he's been playing great the past three games, but I do expect that streak to come to an end this week against the Jets defense because the past three games have been against mediocre defenses. So I think this week he'll fall back to reality. But I did like his play against the Vikings, and I think that was a big reason why they won. And for the Vikings, I mean, Kirk Cousins played a decent game, but didn't play great enough to win.
Idiocracy.
He is
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Average. He is
He's
Mr.
mediocre.
Average.
As we've said in previous podcasts, he's mediocre. He played a decent game, and that's the reason why they lost because he didn't play the way that he should play against a bottom half defense in the league. So
Facts.
And then your game this week, Nick Saya.
Well, I want to shout out Amon-Ra St. Brown.
yes, that guy
Like
is
that
him.
kid's really,
For
I
sure.
think
He's underrated.
For sure.
he's definitely up there, like top 15,
Oh, 100%.
He's top
if not
15.
top 10.
His route running, bro, is so underrated.
It is underrated.
He's a ball player too, bro.
Facts.
Um, but yeah, so earlier I asked if the Eagles were front runners,
Mhm.
but my most surprising game was a likely playoff matchup this year between the Rams and the Bucks, or
The
bugging,
Bucks and the 49ers.
49ers and the Bucks. Uh, that San Fran team cooked the Bucks.
Yeah,
Brady only put down one touchdown,
one.
him and his offense.
And that was in garbage time.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that game was surprising to me. I mean, I did expect the 49ers to win, but I didn't expect Tom Brady to be shut down the way he was because it's Tom Brady.
What else did you not expect? Because we were talking about this in our little break.
I mean,
You
I
gotta
didn't
say
ex
his name. You
I
gotta
didn't
say his name.
expect Purdy to do what he did.
Purdy, Purdy.
That guy, bro.
And I
Bro, there's
think
no.
okay,
But
I think 49ers, if anyone could beat the Eagles, it would be them because of their defense. And that defense would figure out a way to shut down Jalen Hurts.
And what about the Cowboys? And what about them boys?
The Cowboys could beat the 49ers, but as I said, it depends on the offense.
True.
and another thing, not about the Cowboys, but that offense. I also like how that's operating.
Yes.
You know, someone was telling me that Jimmy G is nice or whatever, like top tier mediocre,
I don't like Jimmy G still.
but like I've never seen Jimmy G actually be able to like run the offense. Then you
That's
got
fair.
this rookie. No, actually, Jimmy G can run an offense,
But it has to be through the run game.
and he can't thrive as a quarterback. Honestly,
Speak the truth, Nick Saya. Speak the truth.
he's like a handsome guy who's nice in pictures, handing the ball off,
Truth.
but he ain't that dog
Truth.
that like next up sleep on me mentality at player like that boy Brock Purdy. He's got that swagger, that confidence, that ball player skill.
Facts. You know,
This is love.
I think Brock Purdy is proving 276 teams wrong for passing up on him for that long. And he's taking his moment and saying, y'all made a mistake, and I'm going to prove it to you.
Honestly,
Next Tom
honestly,
Brady. We've called it. We already know. Um, Yeah, Nick Saban just spoke a lot of truth, right? He spoke the truth and nothing but the truth. So for Jimmy G to be sitting out like this, just come to Pittsburgh. All right. They don't need you anymore. They got Trey Lance. They got, Purdy. Just come to Pittsburgh. We need you. We'd appreciate you. All right. Run with Najee, get a couple passes with Pickens. And we need that mentor because we obviously know Mitch is not a mentor. So come mentor, Kenny, have him understand, on the football field, and off the football field stuff, understand the lifestyle of a quarterback in the NFL. And yeah, just come to Pittsburgh.
So, are you throwing the possibility of Aaron Rodgers out the window?
Oh no, that's my number one. That's my number one always. Come on now, you know that. I just thought
All right,
everyone knew that by now, so I didn't want to say it again.
just wanted to make sure.
Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers number one. Come on, Aaron. Let's go to Pittsburgh, win a Super Bowl right then and there. See you in Miami, see you the Bills, see you Cowboys. Yeah, we're winning that right then and there.
You are crazy, bro.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, I
Jimmy
don't know. I
G,
don't know if you win the Super Bowl, but you would make the playoffs for sure.
Now we're Super Bowl bound. If a Cowboy fan can say the Cowboys are gonna do what the Cowboy things do, right? I think the Steelers, a winning franchise, can do the things they do with Aaron Rodgers.
We're a winning franchise too, but we'll see. It has to happen first.
Right. I'm just saying recently, we
Right,
have,
yeah.
but back in
But
the day, you guys were, you guys
go
were
ahead,
good.
Gio, or Saya.
sir, you said you wanted Jimmy G in Pittsburgh.
That is right.
What is he going to teach Kenny Pickett? How to hand the ball off better?
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
know he can't throw that.
No, he can't throw. You're right.
I mean, the better option for throwing is Mitchell Trubisky.
Right, but I feel like winning, we've seen Jimmy go all the way through the playoffs and win till the last point in the conference, right? Championship. So in that standpoint, I like that. And I like to make the playoffs. This one year where we don't make the playoffs is really sad, like Jake is saying. So I need to make the playoffs. Jimmy G will make the playoffs every single year. He's a mediocre quarterback, just like Kirk Cousins, and they're both Mr. Mediocre in my eyes.
That is fair. I do agree with that. But it's a matter of how far you would go with Jimmy. I don't know. I don't know how far you would go.
Kenny Pickett is more of a winner than Jimmy G.
I agree. I do agree.
I feel like you're just selling low just because you want to make the playoffs at this point.
I do want to make the playoffs, and I don't think
So
we can with Kenny right now, but Kenny is a more of a winner for sure.
I think give Kenny the rest of this year and then half or so of next year, and he will be able to lead your team to the playoffs.
Thank you for putting that out there because I didn't believe that, but so thank you.
He's got more of a shot than Jimmy G.
Okay, I
Jimmy
like
G's a
to hear
low
that. I
average
like to hear
quarterback.
this.
I don't think you need to give up a Kenny just yet. You got to give him a little more time. It's his rookie season. There's growing pains. You just got to deal with it, and hopefully he'll grow from it.
I just want to know
Never,
next. Oh, go ahead.
you never want to bring Jimmy G to a team.
See, this is
He
what I
got,
want.
nah. You said he was a winner?
He did. He went still the conference
No
championship
Yes.
way.
He did.
a couple
But why?
times
But
Thanks
why?
that defense.
But
because he
why?
choked in that conference championship.
No. But why did he get to the conference championship?
Oh, the defense, obviously.
Exactly.
Thanks that defense, bro. All the way.
And why did he get to a Super Bowl? The defense.
Right.
It's not Jimmy G. It's his defense.
Okay.
Listen,
Now,
your defense, the Steelers' defense can hold them to 10 points a game. You're going to go 8 and 9 at best.
but I feel like the control, the field control, Jimmy's got the field control over Kenny.
To score 3 points,
Yeah, but to
Not scoring a
have
touchdown?
control over the game is a lot better than not to have control of the game.
But
you're
like
going
we
to lose
said,
games.
that's
Sorry, go
growing
ahead.
pain. That's growing pains with a rookie quarterback. You just got to deal with it.
Right.
And you want
I
a
just-
veteran just to lose games 10-3 because he can't put the ball in the end zone either.
Can I ask you?
Kenny Pickett will at least run.
Right. Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What did Jimmy G do to you, Nick Sale?
Nothing. I
What did
just
he
don't
do
think
to
he's
you?
good.
He just ain't good. Straight
He's
there.
not. He gets overhyped and he's not good. He's a top 25 quarterback in the league.
Jared Goff better than him? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
That was the quickest response. That's all I got to hear.
Sam Darnold, I will also say, is better than Jimmy G.
And those are below average quarterbacks.
Baker Mayfield might also be better than Jimmy G.
Baker's top 15.
They're
Come on, man.
similar.
I'm not playing Baker top 15, but
But we
but
got
moving to Brock Purdy, he is I want I I want him to be the quarterback of the future for the 49ers because this
He should.
story is awesome. And I think if he continues to play with this for the rest of the year, they do have a conspiracy on their hands if he does lead them to a deep playoff run.
it's a battle between him and Trey.
Yeah,
Facts.
for sure. Would they trade Trey? Can they do that?
I mean, they can, but I don't think they would so early. I feel like they'd let
Uh,
Trey. I feel like they saw like 2 games of Trey. I think next year they'd start him, see if he improved at all in the offseason. And if he didn't, they'd be like, all right, Purdy, go. Trade Biley.
Even if Purdy brings you to the deep playoffs and possibly to a Super Bowl, you're gonna bench Purdy next season.
I think so because of the potential. Where did they draft Trey Lance? Third. Where did they draft Purdy? 277th. So I feel
But
like you can't you can't just give up on your third round third pick like that fast.
what happened with Tom Brady when he got put into the game?
Okay,
What
but he didn't. I mean, yeah, that's true. But like, I feel like they just aren't ready to give up on Trey. I think they like Trey a lot.
This is the thing with me and franchises. They're too stuck up on draft capital, right? And what their draft picks are used for and
Right.
money, right? It doesn't
Yes.
matter about the gameplay. Like Heineke, if he plays amazing, they're still going to start Carson Wentz when Carson Wentz is healthy.
Well, now they're not, thank God.
Well, obviously, right? But they were doing that when
Right.
Heineke was still balling out.
Yes.
Now you got Trey Lance next year. Even though Purdy brings you to a Super Bowl and you have more success with Purdy, I'm starting
Well,
Purdy because you
we'll,
have more
we'll
success.
say potentially to the Super Bowl. They have potential. We'll see what happens.
I
But
was gonna
yes, but yes, I think if he does lead him to a deep playoff run, he should be starting. But I just don't see it happening because they believe too much in Trey, like you said.
What if you can get another piece, either offensively or defensively?
I just don't see them trading Trey Lance that fast. I don't see it happening.
I think they're more worried about the risk of getting rid of Trey for him to blossom into like a Patrick
Right.
Mahomes type player.
Exactly.
So I think they're gonna keep him around, see what he can do. And if he doesn't really have glimpses or like sparks, then I think it's the Purdy show all the way.
Right. Exactly. And if worse comes to worse and Trey balls out like they expect him to, you have a trade asset in Brock Purdy who other quarterback needy teams would want.
Facts.
See, but if you do that, I feel like you're gonna get into a Nick Foles type of situation where
What do
I
you
feel
mean?
like Nick Foles was a good quarterback, right? But I feel like the drama with the Eagles, with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, led to I don't think Nick Foles really becoming a great quarterback like he should have been. He got paid the bag when he was on the Vikings, but I don't think developmental wise, I don't think he was there.
That's fair. But
I think we
I
could have that same scenario with Purdy.
that is fair. But I don't know. I just don't see the 49ers ready to give up on Trey Lance just yet.
I think he's terrible, right? Trey
I
Lance
mean,
is
I
awful,
I
right?
agree. I think he is
The only
very
thing
overrated. I
the
agree with
only
you.
thing he should do is get traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers because he'll keep playing awful. No, he's gonna if he goes to the Steelers. Let me tell you right now, he's gonna be MVP that season. Yeah, that's all I got for you.
You want to say that one more time for the people in the back?
Yeah, sorry. He's gonna be MVP if he goes to the Steelers.
You did not just repeat that.
No, he will not. I'm sorry, but Trey Lance, I agree. He is overrated. He is not a good quarterback.
Yeah, keep
I think Brock Purdy would be the better option for the 49ers.
I like that. Keep putting
And
capital lower and lower so that we can just make an easier trade.
And Gio, I think you're just gonna have to stick with Pickett because that's what Steelers are gonna do. But
Well,
I do think I don't know if you're being serious or not, but I personally do think that Trey Lance is overrated. I'm
I
I'm
was
not a big
joking. I think he's got talent. He's got
I'm not a
talent.
big fan of him personally. I think he's overrated.
I think he's better than
Yes, he's.
Love.
Jordan Love, yeah, I agree. But I mean, in the first two games where I saw him, he wasn't really anything. Like he had lack of arm strength, and really the main thing he can do was run. That's all I
Can
really saw.
can I? It was 2 games.
Right?
Pretty much rookie quarterback.
Yes,
Just like Kenny Pickett, give him time. 2 games is not a lot of time for him to develop, man.
that is
That's what you've
fair.
been telling me. That I'm just trying to preach the words you've been preaching to
It
me.
is fair. You're right. But from what I've seen, I'm just speaking the facts.
Right.
He hasn't been a great quarterback.
Would you say the same thing about Kenny Pickett?
Kenny Pickett wasn't a great quarterback at first, but he developed over time.
I don't know what you guys see in this kid.
But you want to know who didn't need any time to be a
Brock Purdy.
quality quarterback in this league?
Brock Purdy.
You already know that's my rookie of the year.
One game and say
Really?
He's just gonna keep tearing it up.
I do
If
agree
he
because
does that and he steps up in that role, what he's been doing, I 100% agree. There's no reason why he shouldn't be, right?
I do
But
agree. But I know I do agree. I think he's going to tear apart the Seahawks tomorrow night because the Seahawks defense is one of the worst in the league. He's going to continue to play strong, but we have to see him do it in the playoffs when it matters most as well.
Gino's gonna
rookie
get
of the year.
locked down.
Would you say to you?
Gino's gonna get locked down
Oh yeah, he is by that defense, 100%.
for sure.
But to answer your question, Gio, what I see in Kenny Pickett
Yeah,
is a developing quarterback. He's a rookie. You can't expect him to walk in and be like, "Oh yeah, I'll throw 50 touchdowns." It's not going to happen. That's Patrick Mahomes,
Trey?
huh?
Isn't that the same thing with Trey?
Yeah, but like, why are you giving up on Kenny? I don't understand why you're giving up.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying if your thing Trey is so bad, he's only had 2 games. That's what I'm saying. Is like he needs that time like Kenny.
But you said you don't know what we see in this kid. Like it's like you don't like him or something.
No, I do like him. He still needs time to develop, in my opinion, obviously.
Right, obviously.
But
One
if
thing I
I'm
see
saying
though,
why do you see so much? I'm sorry, Nick, but real quick, why do you see so much in Kenny but so little in Trey?
Because I believe more in Kenny's ability to throw the ball than I do in Trey Lance.
Okay.
for me, what I was gonna say, right now I believe more in Kenny Pickett,
Mhm.
but that's because I see a winner.
And experience as
I do
well.
see a dog. Yeah, for sure.
Like, although it's not translating to wins right now,
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
he's someone that's willing to put his body on the line to try
Mhm.
to help your team win, and
Right.
he's willing to make difficult decisions
For
to try
sure.
and help your team win.
Mhm.
I didn't really see that from Trey Lance. I saw someone who played kind of
Conservative.
safe and
Conservative,
allowed his
yeah.
defense to carry the team.
I agree. Especially late in the Steelers games, we see Kenny Pickett be more, like a risk taker, right? Put his body on the line just to get that win. And that's what I love about him is because he will do anything at all costs, to win a game. That's what you need in a quarterback. Other than that, I really, like I said, I don't really see like the timing, the thought process in his throws. Really, I don't understand quite well. But yeah, he is a dog. I will give him that, and he wants to win at all
Well,
costs.
well, I mean, those things are going to come with experience. He's a rookie. You can't expect him to come in and just like translate from college to NFL. It's a totally different game. So you're going to have to deal with those growing pains for a year or so, and then he'll grow from them.
I was hoping he was going to be like Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, I wanted to see that
Patrick
so
Mahomes
bad.
is, I mean, he's one
One
of
of a
one.
kind.
I don't think there'll ever be
One of a
another
kind.
Patrick Mahomes come from that league.
Right, for sure.
Don't say Tua.
It's gonna like it took a little time, but next year Tua's throwing 55 touchdowns.
We'll see.
What?
We'll
What?
see. No, no one will ever throw. I'm sorry. Tua will never throw 50 touchdowns.
What?
55?
No, he'll never throw that
That's
many
more than
either.
50. That's more than 50.
Tua will average 30 to 35 touchdowns a season.
Jaceki gets 10 of them though next year for sure.
15.
But to get back to Purdy, it is Purdy time in San Fran, and we'll see what he can do come playoff time.
Purdy's
Let him cook.
Facts. And let CMC run as well, because that boy's a menace.
He's appreciated in San Fran for sure.
All right. So I think I got the cliffhanger that time, but
Sure did.
maybe not. Maybe it was Gio. Leave it in the comments.
It's always me. Come on, we already know.
But moving on from Brock Purdy and the 49ers, there was one key injury quarterback-wise for the Arizona Cardinals. It was reported that Kyler Murray tore his ACL and is now out for the season and maybe for the start of next season as well. I mean, their season was pretty much already over, but this just really flushes it down the drain for me. What are your guys' thoughts on it and how it affects the Cardinals the rest of the year and the beginning of next year if he's out?
It's a rough hit, That's a team that I thought could have made it this year. Even with their little dry spell, I thought they were going to start clicking. But, it happens. It's tough to see. But now I think they can just kind of chill out, hopefully get the best draft pick possible. Move on from there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's been an interesting season for the Cardinals, to say the least.
It will affect them next year, I think, too. I don't think he'll be able to return by then.
No, I'll say he misses at least 3 to 4 games.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna put them in a tough spot.
Right. Unless they get a good backup in free agency.
Thanks.
But what do you think, Gio?
It's very unfortunate for Kyler. He was a subpar quarterback. I thought he was, increasing his play, especially with, Mr. Dope Man over there and D-Hop. Yeah, it's rough, especially since I believe someone thought they were going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Both those picks don't look too hot right now, if we're being honest.
We'll see what Herbert does, though. We'll see what he does.
If he can beat Miami, he's got a shot.
Beat the Cowboys, that's for sure.
No, he can't. But moving on, we beat him last year, and we'll beat him again whenever we play him again.
We got to see what happens, but it sucks. Arizona's, in a tough place, especially since they were keeping Kyler on the clock. That totally sucks for Kyler to be on the clock that entire time and then to get injured like that, because they were having him on the clock, right? For the playbook, right? Like actually studying the playbook, and that sucks. You put in all that time when you don't usually put in that time, and you still get hurt. That's rough for him. Best of luck. Hopefully for a quick recovery. So yeah.
Do you guys think that their coach should be on the hot seat? Because it's obvious to me that Kyler Murray and him are on the same page.
For sure.
Prior to the injury, after their loss before the bye, Kyler even said schematically we were effed. Obviously, he used a different term, but I mean, if you say that in a press conference to reporters, it just shows me that you don't like your coach. And if you don't have your quarterback with you behind you as a coach, it's going to be rough to win games.
I do believe he should be on the hot seat because that offense has way too much talent to be lackluster.
I agree.
And even then, they don't have a terrible defense.
No.
It's not great.
No.
But that, it should be good enough with the offense they have paired alongside it.
Exactly. And I mean, if you look at the losses, they haven't lost by 20. They've lost by 7 to 10 each game. So you would expect their offense to score at least 27 a game, but they can't even do that.
Honestly. Gio?
Yeah, I agree. It sucks. Not the Arizona offense we, hope to see, especially with D-Hop, having that suspension. Coming back, then Kyler goes down. That defense was never healthy to begin with. We never see this team at full strength. At full strength, they are a Super Bowl contender, just like Nick said. It's just sad, man. We're never going to see that team healthy. Just like for me, it's like the Nets with Kyrie Irving, with Kevin Durant, James Harden. We never really saw the full potential, and I don't think we're going to see the same thing here.
Yeah, I think it'll be at least a year before we see them fully healthy.
Even then, that's another year and a half where, JJ's, older. That defense is older,
That's true.
D-Hop's older, time stops for no man, and you need time, especially in the NFL, to develop and, to gain chemistry with each other.
That is true. I do agree, though. I do think Cliff Kingsbury should be on the hot seat. I know he had a great year last year, but if you're losing your quarterback like the way you are, you're eventually going to lose the locker room. If that happens,
Sure.
You're not going to win games.
Right. If you lose your number one general, which is your quarterback, right, you're going to lose all the soldiers behind him. So.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but he should definitely be on the hot seat, in my opinion.
Gotta make moves.
Facts. And we'll see what they do in the offseason, but it's going to be a interesting offseason to say the least. But at least they'll have a high draft pick, like Saya said, and hopefully they can bank in on it and go from there.
Now to make Jake even more upset tonight on this podcast, the Los Angeles Lakers not only lost to the 76ers in overtime after having an amazing comeback. Did you guys want to keep going with NFL, or are we cool? All right.
No, you're good.
They then lost to the Celtics, their rival, after an amazing comeback, then blowing a lead with 4 minutes left, and then losing in overtime. Both games losing with two crucial free throws by their supposedly best player. The floor is yours, Jake.
Number one, this loss is not on Anthony Davis alone. It's on the team as a whole. I can't blame Anthony Davis. He played the entire second half. He was gassed. I do blame him for the missed free throws, but he put his whole heart out there on the floor, just like LeBron James did, and so did Russell Westbrook. It was a great comeback. Unfortunately, we fell short, like you said, because we were gassed. But I don't blame the players as much as I blame the coach. I blame Coach Ham. You saw us go on a 32-5 run, whatever it was, when Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder were off the floor. I don't think that's a coincidence. They are not good fits for this team. They should not be in the starting lineup. And Darvin Ham's rotations are a big reason why we're 12th in the West at 11-16 and why we continue to lose, in my opinion. He is just a Frank Vogel 2.0. I'm not a big fan of him. But to get to the team, obviously, I don't know why I expect anything less. We blow leads all the time. We get down by 20, make a fake comeback, get a 10, 13-point lead, blow it. Then comes down to free throws. Can't make those either. It's just the Lakers the past 2 years haven't found ways to win games they should win, just like last night. And until Rob Pelinka gets his head out of his you-know-what, we're not going to go anywhere. And it's really that simple to me.
I mean, valid. But at what point? Actually, never mind. But do you blame the role players at all?
Like the bench players?
Like Pat Bev?
Oh, I blame Pat Bev 100%. I've been blaming him all year.
So would you like to see him get traded if there's a package?
I need to see him off my team. Bro, did you watch the game?
No, I did not, honestly.
Okay. We were making a 32-5 run. Patrick Beverley misses two wide open layups. Not one, two. Two. As an NBA player, wide open, him in the rim, missed both.
No. He didn't miss. The rim blocked him, okay?
Exactly.
We got to give him some credit. Had two great blocks.
He's looking like Russell Westbrook looked last year, if not worse. He needs to go. Get off my team. Goodbye.
I mean, you trade him for Buddy?
I don't even want Buddy at this point because
you don't want Buddy?
Our biggest,
greatest shooter of all time.
He's the defensive liability. He's a defensive liability.
So is Pat Bev right now.
Yes, Pat Bev is too. But I feel like a better piece would be Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons.
Pat Bev is not getting you Buddy Hield even, bro.
No, I know.
I was talking about another Buddy personally.
Yeah, I'm so confused on what Buddy
we're talking bro, you can't say Buddy and just say Buddy,
we're
bro.
We're talking about Buddy the Elf right now? Like, what's going on?
When I say Buddy, there's only one Buddy in my mind.
Okay, No, I mean, n- yes, I trade Pat Bev for Buddy Boeheim because Buddy Boeheim would actually make shots. But if we're talking realistically, I want the Patrick Beverly and a first round pick for Bohan Bogdanovic deal from the Pistons.
You want to give up more draft capital?
Those picks are 8 years from now. 8 years from now, LeBron's going to be out of the league and we'll be rebuilding again. So yes, I want us to trade the picks.
How will y'all be rebuilding when you got no picks to build with?
That's right. Oh, but they're LA. They're a
We'll
marketable
find ways.
place. They
Exactly.
got free agents,
We don't build through the draft. We do build through the draft and we'll get high
Barely.
picks from
Barely.
losing. But the main thing that LA banks on, like Gio said, is
Free
star
agency.
players coming to LA because it's LA.
Yeah, you can see that, right? Obviously, second round picks like Kyle Kuzma, right? Or like an Alex Caruso, which I don't think he was even signed, right? He was
No, he was undrafted.
undrafted, right?
Same
So
with
anyways,
Austin Reeves.
a lot of your guys that you guys do pick up is either undrafted through free agency. But if you draft them, what happens? I think you traded all of them in the last 10 years, pretty much.
Right.
Is that right? Or
Yeah.
let them go like Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Zoe, the list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, free agency is your best hope.
Right.
Get rid of those picks. Win now with LeBron. Win now with Anthony Davis. Build for an Anthony Davis type team. And that's all you can hope for.
I agree. Because here's the thing. LeBron James is 37. He's not going to be doing this at a high level for many more years.
Going to be 38 in a couple of days now.
We've seen him. He hasn't been the same this year. He's had a few great games, but majority he's been underperforming. And Anthony Davis can't do this by himself. He needs help. So until we trade the role players who aren't doing anything, like Patrick Beverly and Dennis Schroeder and others, the only two I want to keep are Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves. Those are the only two that are untouchable to me.
Oh, what about Thomas Bryant?
He doesn't. That's the thing. I love him and I love Kendrick Nunn, but Darvin Ham doesn't use him. What are we supposed to do?
Right. Thomas Bryant, when utilized correctly, can impact the game as we've seen him play, right?
Right. But that's the thing. We're not the coach. Darvin Ham is. I don't know what he has against Kendrick
Why would
Nunn,
you want to get rid of him?
because he's sitting on the bench doing nothing. I feel like we could trade them for someone who would do something for.
But do you think he would play them instead?
I think he would if he likes the player. I don't think he likes the type of player that Nunn and Bryant are for some reason. I don't know why, but I just don't think he does, or else he would be using them.
Yeah, it's a tough scenario. I would honestly fire the coach now. If that's the case, you're not playing the players that could be utilized to win, then that's your job on the line, not theirs.
Exactly, which I think he should be on the hot seat right now and should be fired after 1 year. I really don't care. I'm sick of losing. As I said, Anthony Davis needs help. LeBron James and Anthony Davis can't do this by themselves. They scored, 67 points by themselves last night. No one else in double figures in the starting lineup. Only other double figure scorer was Russell Westbrook. They need help, and until we get them help, we're going nowhere.
Now I got a question for Nick. Jake just said how Anthony Davis can't do it by himself. Yet in the past, we've seen LeBron James carry a team by himself, right? Why can't Anthony Davis, if he's so great, he's supposed to be a top 5 player in the league, why can't he carry a team by himself?
So they're both top 5 at best, like when they're at their peaks.
Right.
But AD is nowhere near the GOAT.
No.
Like LeBron is debatably the best player of all time.
Right, for sure.
There's only one LeBron James, if we're being honest.
But I'm saying, okay, so in retrospect, here's my thing. LeBron James was a top 5 player in the league, right? Now, Anthony Davis is supposed to be a top 5 player in the league. The top 5 players in the league, Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jokic, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, my top 5, are all carrying a team pretty much by themselves except for Jason Tatum, who has help, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say Luka's carrying a team.
I'd say Luka's the closest on that list, but even then, I wouldn't
because
say
Embiid has Harden,
Okay.
Giannis has Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton.
Right.
Jason Tatum has Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, and the list goes on.
Phenomenal defense around.
And the list goes on.
The Celtics, I would say, Jason Tatum's the only one, but really Giannis has to carry a team by himself because Chris Middleton wasn't healthy.
Yeah, but he
right?
still had Drew Holiday though.
Okay, but Anthony Davis still has a somewhat okay LeBron.
But
LeBron.
I mean, here's the knock on Anthony Davis. We've never seen him be able to carry a team. That's the main reason why he wanted to get out of New Orleans, because he couldn't carry a team.
But he at least got them to the playoffs, which I don't understand why he can't do that himself. Shouldn't Anthony Davis be able to carry a team to the playoffs?
Because that roster was 10 times better than this Lakers roster.
You had an older Rajon Rondo, an older DeMarcus Cousins, a younger Drew Holiday.
Okay, I would take those three over half of the roster we have right now.
An old DeMarcus Cousins and a young obviously a young Drew Holiday is remarkable. But
An old Rajon Rondo is better than Pat Bev right now.
you still
Also,
have Lonnie Walker. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
okay, you can talk about talent all you want from both sides,
Right.
but I think a big factor also is the play styles and the positions.
Okay.
Anthony Davis isn't a player that can dribble the ball down the floor
Right.
and just get a bucket when he wants to.
Yep.
He's got to be set up more.
Mhm.
Otherwise, rather than prime LeBron, who could take the ball, set up a play, do whatever he had to do, just get a bucket.
Mhm.
And I think that comes from like the position and skill basis of the two.
Oh,
Right.
for sure.
Exactly. And that is why, in my opinion, we lost the game last night, because we stopped feeding the ball to AD. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe he was gassed. Maybe he didn't want the ball. But it's just proving the point of sale. He can't get his own bucket. He needs to be set up.
And it's not even
Agreed.
like necessarily like he's got to be spoon fed like Rudy Gobert.
No,
Mhm.
it's
Like he needs
pick and
someone,
rolls or something like that.
and then
Right.
like he's got to post up or something.
Right. Exactly. He needs to post up and be in the paint because he's not a shooter. He was, but he's not anymore. But I mean,
Yeah. That's probably I can see that now. That's the main reason. If you're not able to find your own shot, then you can't carry a team to the playoffs.
exactly. And it was said that, once again, Rob Pelinka has stated that he is not trading the 2 picks unless it's for a star, which I don't understand. We don't need another star. It's just going to ruin the team chemistry even more. And we have enough stars on this team. We're a few small pieces away from at least the playoffs, in my opinion.
See, this is
What-
2 pieces. Circle.
I'm so confused.
Sorry, when you were talking about trading for a star, I started putting Buddy Boeheim.
Yeah. Okay.
'Cause those 2
That
draft
makes
picks for Buddy
sense.
Boeheim, take 'em. We
All
got the
right,
GOAT coming
Gio,
back.
keep going, Gio.
So what I want to say is LA, Rob Pelinka thinks LA, star power, all stars on the squad, right?
No.
He doesn't understand. He's a great agent, but he's not a great general manager. And that's the
Exactly.
difference between him and great general managers are they understand what great role players they need, what great player, minor players they need to help win a team, like an Alex Caruso, like Alonzo Ball, right? Like Boris Diaw back in the day for the Spurs, right? Like a Mike Miller for the Heat, right? All those great guys were not star players, and then Shane Battier, right, for the Heat. The Heat had great. If you want to look
Exactly.
on how to build a championship team, you look at the Miami Heat, okay? You got 1 to 2 to 3 stars on the team. The rest are great role players. You do not have 4 to 5 stars on that team.
No, exactly. And you don't have to go back that far. Go back to 2020 for the Lakers. It was Anthony Davis and LeBron James and a bunch of role players, and we won the championship.
But not even then. How about the Cavaliers going up against us? What 62-9?
Yeah, something like that.
72-9, right?
73 and 9.
72
Yeah.
and 9. You had LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. Then you had Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, right? Channing
Exactly.
Frye, Richard Jefferson, Timothy Mozgov, Matthew Dellavedova. Like, come on. All
No,
those guys were not stars, but they were good for their role.
exactly. You don't need stars. You need people who know their roles, and that is exactly what the Lakers are lacking. Patrick Beverley doesn't know his role. He thinks he's a shooter. He's never been able to shoot in his entire career. He comes to the Lakers. Oh, I'm Steph Curry. No. Um, the list goes on. Everyone doesn't know their role outside of Lonnie Walker, Thomas Bryant, and Austin Reeves, and that's why they are thriving.
And that's why LeBron loves Austin, is because he understands what role he needs to play.
Exactly.
LeBron enforced that into Austin Reeves, in my opinion.
I agree. And I mean, I I don't know what Pelinka sees, but I don't see any star wanting to come to play for this team with the way that it's going downhill.
You know who's a star in their own right?
Who?
Bogdanovich on the
Yes, he
Pistons.
is. Yes. And that is why I think we should do the trade, but I don't see Pelinka doing it because he's like, nope, got to keep the pick, even though it's 5 years from now. 5 years from now, we'll be rebuilding at that point.
Okay, you brought it back full circle, so I can comment on this real quick, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna move on.
Yeah.
The reason you got AD is from all those draft picks and
That's right.
those players
Right,
turning
yes.
into
That's right.
So like it could be good, but at the same time, it's already 8 years ahead where LeBron's gonna retire in the next 3. But also, I think a big improvement that's still there, that still has not been acted upon, is if y'all just stay mellow
Exactly.
and sign
Hey,
Anthony Davis
Please.
number
or Carmelo
Carmelo
Anthony.
Anthony, please. Last year was one of, if not his best 3-point shooting percentage of his career. He had shot 37%.
right,
Yes, he's
and 14 points per game as well. Average.
yeah, exactly. He knows his role, which is what we're lacking. Yes, he's a defensive liability, but half the roster is right now anyway. Just sign him and see what he can do.
You can help score when you can't force feed Anthony Davis no more.
Exactly. And I hate how we don't use Kendrick Nunn. Like, the dude was a baller on the Heat. And when he does come in like 5-minute stints, he goes on for 5 points in like 2 minutes and then they take him out. I don't understand it.
Cooper's who?
I mean, I, I don't blame the team as much as I blame our GM, our owner, and our coach.
That's fair. See, you guys just gotta find a way to get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort.
Facts. That'd be
Easy
a dream
contenders
come-
then.
That'd be a dream come true. But
Trade AD for him.
okay, that's a little stretch. But
Where's DeMarcus Cousins right now?
DeMarcus Cousins is retired.
Retired?
Yeah.
There
But
is
I do agree I do agree that the 2020 team was built by Magic Johnson, as Gio previously stated in a podcast before, because I haven't seen Rob Pelinka do anything since that
Nothing.
championship.
Nothing.
Nothing. And he hasn't had any trades, honestly, outside of the Anthony Davis one, and that might have not been even him. We don't know. But I just don't see how Rob Pelinka could have built that team and then for the next 2 years built these products of teams. I just don't see how he could have done that if he was behind the 2020 championship team.
See, this is what I would do if I was Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. I would go over to, Magic Johnson, state my case, and then also apologize. Say, we couldn't have done it without you. That 2020 championship is your championship. Please return. I would kiss every one of those championship fingers he has, all 5 of them, if I was Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka.
I hope.
Thinking he's
Facts.
like Pope, right?
I agree because who got us LeBron? Who got us LeBron James? Magic flew to LA to get us LeBron James.
That's right. That's
and
right.
Who got us AD? There was no way it was Rob Pelinka. There was no way it was
Magic
Rob.
Johnson had that trade. All Rob Pelinka had to do was, sign his name on the piece of paper,
and make the call.
Make a call, because everything else was put into place.
Exactly. I mean, if Magic's not coming back, if I'm Jeannie Buss, I'm walking into Rob's office right now and saying, okay, your job is on the line. If you don't trade the picks, you're gone. It's that simple.
What I would say is your job's on the line if you cannot get Magic Johnson back in this arena, in this facility.
That's fair. But if Magic says no, I'm walking in and saying your job is on the line. If you want to keep these picks, go ahead, but you're not going to be the GM here.
Yeah, you can have those picks in some other, franchise.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But as I said, until he gets his head out of his phrase that I should not say,
you know what?
It's not going to change. The Lakers franchise is not going to change.
I agree.
One day.
One day it will, and that day will be triumphant, just like 2020 was for me. October 2020. What a year.
I was thinking the other way around personally. I think LeBron retires and then y'all are just a dumpster fire.
Oh wow.
Just like when Kobe retired, man.
Nah, we won't be a dumpster. I don't think we'll be a dumpster fire, but we won't be nearly as good. I feel like AD will stay, keep us relevant for a little bit, and then be like, all right, I'm going to Chicago.
No, AD's gonna go to Chicago right when LeBron retires.
No, I think he'll stay for a year or two and be like, all right, Chicago.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because their contracts end the exact same time, and I think that was strategic by LeBron James for Anthony Davis to make Anthony Davis happy and be like, "Yo, when I'm out, you're out." So Anthony
Maybe.
Davis goes to Chicago, and that'll be that.
Well, that's just more reason to capitalize on them now instead of wait, Palinka.
That is exactly right. You should be the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers.
I really should.
You
know,
really should.
You guys should see my Twitter handle. There's so many tweets that are so smart and they don't acknowledge me. So sad.
See, I should get hired by the Lakers too, bro.
No, because then you'll trade LeBron James for Buddy Boeheim. Get out of here.
Nah, he's gonna trade him for like Duncan Robinson.
Let's
Nah,
make a
bro,
deal.
nah.
Let's make a deal. I'll be the GM of the Heat. You'll be the GM of the Lakers. We'll swap rosters and we'll go from there.
Nah. You can't do it. I would trade LeBron though.
Yeah, I know you would.
Jimmy Boeheim would be a crucial piece of my team.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Which is
He
why
averaged 35 on my team.
Which is why you're not a GM. But moving on. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, real quick, JoJo's sneaky. That's all I got to say. JoJo would be sneaky on his numbers, on his grind, MVP caliber numbers so far. He's sneaky with it.
Joel's really no surprise to me. He's the second best center behind Jokic, in my opinion. I expect this from him every season. I expect him to be in the MVP conversation. So these numbers aren't surprising to me.
But to have it be so quiet, like no one's talking about it.
I feel like no one's talking about it because the Sixers keep losing. That's why I think.
True.
But
I think it's early in the season too.
That is true. But you could also say the Lakers are losing and they're talking about AD. I'm not really sure why they're not talking about Embiid, to be honest.
In the last 10 games, aren't the 76ers 8-2?
I'm not sure. All I know is since Harden got back, they've stepped it up.
Right.
But I really don't know why he's not being talked about because just the other night, I believe he had 53 points and like 11 rebounds. And I didn't see any rumors about it.
No headlines, nothing. When Anthony Davis, he gets 50. Oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. He played a game.
Yeah, I feel like that's why though, because he's so injury prone. That's
right.
He's playing, so we gotta headline it.
Right, exactly. So just congrats to JoJo, stepping up his grind this season.
I think he is definitely in the MVP conversation as well. But
is JoJo a durable player now?
Yeah, he's durable.
Yeah,
in the last 3 years, I would say.
The last 3 years he has been.
Which is crazy. Like, congratulations to him for, changing up that narrative on him.
Facts. And I hope this is a sign that Anthony Davis will do the same for at least the beginning of this year.
Well,
but the clear-cut MVP for me, and I saw it firsthand last night, Jason Tatum is a bad man.
That's JT, man. He's the new Kobe, honestly. When he made that shot over LeBron James, I screamed Kobe as loud as I could.
Kobe did mentor him, and you can see it in his game.
Oh, for sure.
So
he's his hero.
Yeah. For me, 100%, he's my clear-cut MVP as of right now.
Right, for sure.
Zay is still salty about, how he did his Heat, I think. But,
I tell him to beat the
Bam Bam has been playing great too, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he scored like 28 tonight.
Yeah. I am curious, though. Like, did you win tonight?
Yeah, we won by 2 against OKC.
I'm curious. Like, how are you guys 14 and 15 if Bam and Butler and all them have been playing so great?
Well, Jimmy's been injured.
Yeah.
Injured. We've been fighting injuries.
Okay. And when Jimmy was back, like, why were you losing then?
It's just early, Gotta let
fair.
them sleep on us. Get that dog
But
mentality
like
in.
when Jimmy was healthy, was like Hero out or something?
Yeah, it's just a circle of injuries, bro. It's frustrating.
They
That
like
makes
to
sense.
stay low key so that when it comes to the playoffs, the last like 20 games they'll go on a stretch of like 20-0,
Oh, I'm not.
so that they
I'm
can
no,
become like the
I'm
four
not
seed.
worried. I'm not worried about the Heat. I was just surprised to see them like this bad so early because usually they're at least top 6 by now.
No, they were this bad last year, weren't they?
I don't think
And
they
then
were this bad. I don't think they were.
I don't think they were this bad, but they had a slow start where I think they were like
Right. They were like the
in the
10 seed,
East.
right?
Right now they're 10.
Yeah, I think they were the 10 last year too.
They
Start
might have
at the
been. I
start of it,
remember.
and then they came up and they like jumped to 4, and then they jumped to 1, and they stayed at 1, and then they stayed at 1, and then they stayed at 1. So
Well, maybe, but that's what the Heat do. They let the people sleep, and then they're like, "All right, y'all slept.
time to wake up.
Time to rock."
But yeah, my closing thoughts would be Jason Tatum. Your father is Jimmy Butler.
That is true because when Jimmy came back, we saw what happened. 13 points.
Exactly.
But to end on a good note, Gio, you got a segment?
I do. I want to promote
You
this
got to
channel.
say you got to say something about what Saya just said? Seems like you do.
I just wanted to say Steph Curry is probably his uncle then because Steph Curry, balled out against, Jason Tatum too. Same with Klay Thompson. The Splash Brothers are his uncles, in the
I will
family.
say,
Shouldn't have been there.
Andrew Wiggins is also his stepfather because he clamped him up.
Whoa. So we got the father, we got the stepfather, we got the uncles.
Yeah, but you only got those three because he shouldn't have been there in the first place.
And then you got LeBron James as his granddaddy.
Well,
So like,
Whoa.
let's
That's
calm down.
no, because LeBron James whooped him when he was on the Cavs.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I-
he's his grandfather. Yeah.
I was just going off of last night. It looked like the other way around.
Now, sometimes you got to let the youngsters, go ahead and play their game and then whoop them afterwards,
That's fair.
So, but yeah, going to my segment, I want to shout out this channel. We have hit, after this video, 49 videos. The 50th video is going to be something special. Y'all got to wait for that, but subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you can watch that 50th video because it's going to be crazy.
Facts. Yeah, I would like to say thank you for sticking around to those who have and continuing to watch our videos. And there's not much going on in the video game world, so I'm gonna shout out Q Soccer. #1, baby, national champions. We are the champions, and
City of Champions once again, baby.
it feels good, especially to beat Indiana, a team who I personally do not like. It was great to witness, and hopefully we can go back to back next year.
I'm gonna need my basketball team to turn up a little bit.
Facts.
But Joe, you do a segment already, bro?
I already did. It was called This Podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, my bad. I'm tripping. All
All good.
right. What y'all thinking? Should I? Oh, actually, yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna shout out Juice WRLD. He's got an album dropping tonight. Oh, it dropped. I'm about to beat that.
It
I'm
dropped?
about to beat
It
that.
dropped?
It dropped. I'm about to beat that song. But yeah, it's like Face to Face, I think it's called. I've never heard of it unreleased, so I'm excited to get it to listen. And yeah.
Facts. Thanks for watching. See y'all on the next one. Number 50, baby.
Yo, thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in. Big number 50. They call me Joel Anthony. Drop a like if you like this pod. Drop a comment and let us know what you want to let us know. But most importantly, what's Joel Anthony without Dwayne Wade? Gia.
Hey, you know what they call me? They call me Mr. 50. Step out of the way, Aaron Gordon. I'm getting that 50 piece this year. But seriously, thank you guys for watching. Happy holidays, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.